don't know. Okay. Ready? This looks a lot better, Maggie. Everyone, good morning. Though we got 41 people here so far, and we have Maggie.
Good morning.
I think I might have tried to do a live on my personal website, so sorry about that, everybody. That delayed us a little longer, but we're here. It's the third day of National Scrapbook Week, and our theme is Craft Your Life in Color. And this is perfect today, Maggie, because your new canvas kit is definitely full of painting and color, and it's gorgeous.
Lots and lots of color today.
Lots of cool stuff.
And we need it here in Iowa with all this rain.
We've had a lot of gloom in Iowa. I won't say doom, but a lot of gloom, a lot of rain, a lot of cold weather. They're saying like the farmers are behind with their planting because of the rain. So hopefully things are going to get a little better this weekend. And before we get started, I wanted to show everybody this card. And it's to the mothers, all the mothers at Memory Bound. So Maggie, do you want to open that?
Oh.
Looks like it's from Mary from Maine. And Mary, I hope you're
Hi,
watching.
Mary.
Haven't seen her name, but I got a little flustered, let's say. Oh, Mary is here. She says, hi, friends, with a whole bunch of hearts.
Good morning, Mary.
Mary, our mail lady just came. Oh, my gosh.
Isn't that
So
pretty?
special. Yes, it is. It looks like Indigo Garden.
Oh, my world is brighter because of you.
Love, Mary from Maine. Happy Mother's Day. Oh, Mary, that's so sweet.
Goes perfect with our theme.
That is very nice. It does. It does. It's bright colors. And that looks like Indigo Garden,
Oh,
which we're going
look
to be
at
seeing more on
that.
Friday.
Not a Hallmark, made by Mary. I love that.
That is good.
It's way cute.
Good morning, everyone. If you're just joining us, Maggie's here at Memory Bound in Iowa, and I'm Kelly, and we have a new canvas kit to show you today. Oh yeah, there's our data right there. If you're wondering where you're at, you're in the classroom right here at Memory Bound. One of the best classrooms ever, I will say. And OSHA says Happy National Scrapbook Week. And if you are just joining us on National Scrapbook Week, it's actually a day, a national holiday, but we don't do anything small at Memory Bound, so we celebrate all week long because, hey, why not, right, Maggie?
Perfect. I love it. It's been fun.
Oh, and Martha's asking about pictures of yesterday's cards, and I realized about 11 o'clock last night I hadn't sent those to Janet, so we'll get those posted. We do have pictures, and we'll take pictures of today's projects because I think Maggie might have outdone herself again. These paintbrushes are just wonderful. And everyone, I want you to know that Maggie made all the paintbrushes hanging from our ceiling. And
no paint on my kitchen counter.
that's what's amazing, isn't it?
Randy, my husband didn't get to eat at the kitchen counter for a day or two, but that was okay.
He had to use the table.
Yes.
Donna said she had trouble finding us, and it might be because I think I went to my personal Facebook page at first. So that's why we're a little bit late. But we should mention, Maggie, our specials, our National Scrapbook Week special. I'm going to just pop over here because today our Nouveau drops are 25% off, and Maggie's going to be using Nouveau drops. And this is our overflow. We have a lot of Nouveau drops in just about every color.
Kelly, in any project, there's always room for a Nouveau drop.
That we should come up with a rhyming phrase for that. And then our glitter from Doodlebug is half off all week. The Nouveau is just on sale today, but the Doodlebug glitter is half off all week. And we have a very special tab on our website that says Craft Your Life in Color, and all of these specials like the Big Shots and the foldaways are 30% off. And then Maggie, we got to mention these bags. We mentioned them yesterday, but these Doodlebug bags, and they do hold a 12 by 12 paper pack, and they're $6.99. They're regular $19.99.
And the blue ones always get buried, so
Oh, Maggie, get a blue one out.
we have to show a blue one.
You can get one of every color if you want, and some people have. I actually got those for Mother's Day for our daughter and our daughter-in-law. I think they'll be really cute. I'll put some little gifts in them.
That does hold a 12 by 12.
Oh yeah, Maggie's gonna demo that.
That's important in the crafting world,
It
right?
is.
Look at that. Perfect. So if you want to take a project to a crop.
It's got a little metal charm on it with a jewel. They're done definitely in the Doodlebug style with the bow and the polka dot. They're happy bags.
What a fun Mother's Day. Put a Mother's Day gift in one of these.
I know. That's what I'm going to do for our...
I love it.
And then I'm like, well, why aren't I doing it for my mom and my mother-in-law?
Yes.
So I guess I need 2 more.
Well, at that price, you can, right?
Mary suggested not a time to stop at a Nouveau drop. That's a good one,
Oh,
Mary.
I love that.
And Donna, I hope you recover from your surgery so you can get back to crafting and have a speedy recovery. Okay, well, Maggie, I think we're loaded with viewers, and I think we're ready to go for the day.
Okay, today we're all about paintbrushes. And when Spellbinders and Honeybee and Concord and Ninth came out with some of these dies and stamps, it just fit perfect into your theme, Kelly, of Craft Your World in Color. But I love the paintbrushes. And so I was attracted to this one, which is what you're showing. This is the Spellbinders, and it's called Butterfly Burst. And the great news today is that you get that die in your kit. This die right here comes in your kit. So you get an extra little bonus today.
So it's got the butterflies, the butterfly well, I guess you cut out the 2 pieces together, Maggie? Or
I'm going to show them.
You're going to show that? Okay.
Yes.
You get the butterfly bodies, you get the bristles, the brush, the little band, and it's normally a $14.99 die, and we do have the dies separate if you want to just get the die.
Yes, and it comes in the kit. I'm going to open this kit and show you what's in there. And the kit is $23.99. It goes really well with this stamp set. This is the Spellbinders Paint Your World sentiments, and it goes well with this stamp set and this Honeybee stamp set. They all would go really well.
And this is the one that Teresa used yesterday, and it's called Color.
And that one has a matching die. So, shall we open up the kit?
It's a very colorful day. Yes, I'm excited about this.
Yes. So,
okay, you can find Maggie's kit online under Kits, or you can also find it under National Scrapbook Week.
in your kit, you will get the directions, of course, and a photo. And then the best bonus is you get the actual die set. And in working with this, the thing I liked about this was they're outlined, and so when you go to put your dies away, it shows you exactly where to put them. I thought that was kind of cool.
Oh, you mean on the background?
Yeah, it has a little line. I'll show you that when I use mine. So then you always know you have all the pieces. But you get the paintbrush, you get the little metal strip, and there is a special name for that. I looked it up, but then I just ended up calling it the strip or band. You get the butterflies in about 4 different sizes and different patterns. You get the bristles, and you get the little butterfly bodies. So it's pretty versatile die. And this is where I got my inspiration, was the front of that. It was a card. So in the kit, you will get this. You'll get a 4 by 5.5 inch coaster. And, you know, of course, we have those in square and circle also. You get a pre-stamped, it's already stamped for you. The same quote that we used on the actual sample. So if you want to make more, then you could just use different stamps too if you'd like. But that's already pre-stamped for you. You get some generous pieces of black and yellow. This is Color Vibe Dandelion, which I thought went really well.
Yeah, that's a good color.
And you get a piece of the Tim Holtz cardstock metallic craft. And that comes in a package, so you could make millions of paintbrushes if you wanted to. And it's got craft on the back. So if you'll notice on my sample, Kelly, I did sand it just a little bit to give it a little bit of a used look. You don't see much of it, but just a little bit. Then you get your string, your twine. And then I just gave you some pieces, and there's plenty for you to play around with. of some colors for your butterflies. So that's all in your kit.
And that's from the new Spectrum, right? Maybe
Yes,
little
yes.
sheets here from the Spectrum Sherbet.
The colors are just beautiful. So that will come in your kit, everything ready. And then if you like it, you can make cards, which is what I did. I just took the same paintbrush die and made some different cards, but then what I added was one of these. If you do not have this stamp set, Teresa has always used it, and I always kept thinking I wanted it. So last week I bought it for myself, and I'm so glad I did.
Bought it for yourself.
I just love that look, and so I used the circle.
It's good for paintbrushes.
Yes, I used the circle on some of those cards, and then last night I decided to use the strip. And this is actually worn lipstick, and this is a, what do you call it, a slimline card. Mm-hmm. And so I put the matching color sherbet in the back, and then I stamped it, and this is actually worn lipstick. And then I decided I wanted it to look wet, so I just took some glossy accents. And here's a little bottle of that. If you want anything to look wet, glossy accents will do the job. And then what I noticed is after I put that glossy accents, it really made it look almost a deeper orange than it was pink.
It does. It looks a deeper color.
And I decided I wanted my paintbrush to look more like an old paintbrush, so I cut it out of wood paper. And then I curved it so it's a little more 3D.
Oh my gosh, Maggie, that's so
That was fun.
cute.
That was a fun one to do. But there's just some samples. And you can make those butterflies, they got kind of flattened. You can make them a little more 3D. But those paintbrushes are so fun, and I'm going to show you how I made it.
So here she used the circle from Brush Strokes. And Maggie, I'm glad you used a different color. She was kind of all into yellow.
Yeah,
and
after
then
I
she
made
went
those
with
3
pink.
yellow, my husband said, "Why did you make them all yellow?" And I said, "I don't know."
It's a cheerful color.
Yes.
Yellow is a happy color.
Yes. But you could make it in any of those sherbet colors. I just love it. Oh, here's another die, a couple dies that
Yeah.
Spellbinder put out.
Show us the other paint dyes, because there are other options.
Look at that paintbrush, how big it is. This is that would be a really cute one for a Mother's Day, I think.
And that one is $26.99. And what's it?
It
is the
is
name on the
called
front, maybe, or on
Painted Blooms.
the? Okay, Painted Blooms.
So if you want a
the
much bigger,
flowers.
yes, if you want a much bigger paintbrush, this would be. You could do a really bigger thing.
Posters or
Yes,
decorate your room
or a
scrapbook
canvas.
layout.
And this one is called Artful Tulip. So if you have an artsy friend, but that loves flowers, isn't that fun? And this one is more probably the size that we use today.
You could probably take, if you buy the kit, you could probably take the one that you get and put flowers instead of butterflies.
You
If
could
if
do
you have
anything.
flower punches. Is
This one
that
I love. I just love this one. Look at the dripping paint. And that's probably about a little bigger than the one we're using today. And I think, Kelly, there's only a couple of those. So, and then another one is this palette, which
yeah, you need
I think would be fun to give to an art friend,
So-
artsy friend.
So this is Painter's Palette from Spellbinders. And we have another palette option also. This one's a little bit bigger, and we do have one from Honeybee that's a little bit smaller. They look very similar though, don't they, Maggie?
Yes, yes. This
Just in size.
one's just bigger. Okay, so there's your kit for today, and I'm just going to take you through step by step of how I created that. Plus, we also have a little experiment today.
Oh, we're going to do something daring.
Yes, we are.
All right.
Okay, yesterday, Kelly, someone asked the difference between
Oh, Maggie, you're the best.
oxide and distress. And so just for fun, I took these 2 sheets of paper that I actually used on our kit today, and I did the same process of smooshing it, adding water, and of course by adding water then your oxide will oxidize. But can you see the difference? This is going to be a little more chalky looking, and this is a little more transparent. Same color tones, but it's just when it chalks up, it gets a little chalky looking. So just the difference. Now, like Teresa said, this is going to show up on craft and black, and that is the reason why on this card I used oxide, because I wanted it to show up on this
your
craft.
bristles are craft. I didn't realize that.
So that's why I used oxide, because if I would have used distress, it wouldn't have shown up.
It would have kind of like just soaked in.
Yeah, and as you can see, oxide's a little more opaque, I think. I feel like it is, but I go back and forth. Sometimes
So here's side by side the oxide with, and is this fossilized amber?
that's fossilized amber, and the ink we're going to use today is mustard seed because I felt like it was a little brighter. This is distress. I would have done an oxide, but I was at home and I didn't have
one,
it.
Right?
Yeah, I didn't have the oxide in that.
Well, that's a great example, Maggie, and that was very sweet of you to do that for us.
Well, sometimes I have to do that just to remind myself the difference too. Okay, so we're going to do a little experiment, and let's do that first. I brought along my glass mat, and it comes with this nonstick mat that goes with it. And I could not remember, but for some reason I thought that when I did my smooshing, I like to do it on this kind of a surface rather than just pure glass. So I thought, let's do an experiment and see the difference.
You gonna do both?
Yep.
And Maggie, we did get in the travel size glass media mats yesterday. So if you're thinking about getting a glass media mat, we did receive the travel size. And I'm looking over there, I don't see it, but...
And I don't know if all of you have your storage
here we go.
system set up for your inks, but this has been my favorite. I love these things.
You and Teresa have the best ink storage.
I have 4 of these. And
You have 4?
I'm starting to think I need one more because I'm starting to add more oxides.
And if you're interested in that, that is the Distress tin.
And it's over there.
And it's right here. Diane went and got them for us. It's the ink pad storage tin for Distress inks. And Maggie's got the labels. Okay, let me see how much this is. This is $12.99 and it holds 15.
And they stack up nicely, and these are the labels that I use to label them.
And you can get labels here at Memory Bound. We print them on a sticker sheet and then you cut them out and put them on your ink pads. You can download it from Ranger if you want to yourself. These are printed with a laser, so they're not gonna, if they get wet, they're not gonna like smear.
You
like
actually need
home.
2, one for your set of oxides and one for your distress inks.
Oh, that's true.
I found that out too.
And Janet said she recently bought those and her life is so much better.
Oh my gosh, see, what's nice is they have the plastic. Can you get up close there? They have the plastic inserts, so that holds.
So if you take one out, they don't flop around.
Yeah.
That is great.
It's great. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do it on glass, and I'm going to do it on this nonstick mat that comes with it.
We'll see if there's any difference.
For some reason, I think I prefer this when I did it. Okay, so we're going to use just Distress ink, and mustard seed is a nice bright yellow.
And that's what you need when you're going to color your life in color.
Yes.
Or
Now,
craft your life in color.
fossilized amber is one of my favorite colors too, but it's just got a little bit more brown in it. Okay, so when you do this, for this particular project, which I'm going to do one for you, but we're just going to do the experiment first. So you smoosh, you turn your ink pad upside down, smoosh it. So this one is on the mat, and you spritz it until you feel like it's pretty diluted. If you don't get enough spritz, then you end up getting dots. Can you get a close-up of that, Kelly?
Yeah.
Those little dots are when you haven't diluted, which I like, but you don't want it completely like that. Okay, so this is our nonstick mat. You press it down and lift it up. Okay, that's using, and because we're using just a cardstock, you don't want to lay it there and leave it there because it does soak through. It's not like a watercolor paper. Isn't that pretty?
Yes. Your paper towel's very nice.
Oh my gosh, I had a tie-dye paper towel the other day that was just really cool. Okay, so that's the nonstick. The con about using just the glass is you can't really see where you put it. Now, if this were oxide, you'd see it a little bit more. All right, so like I said, I really think that I prefer using the mat. As you can see, it's pooling more. This kind of contains it a little bit. So,
well, let's just see if there's a difference.
not a lot of difference, but can you see how that's smooshed out to the sides? Where this kind of stays where you want it. So I think that's about the only difference, other than the fact that you can see where your stuff is, your ink is. So you decide which one you want to use, but if you have the mat, I kind of like that. It doesn't pool. See how it kind of stayed in its place?
Yes, it did. It kind of runs out more on the glass.
So that was my experiment for the day.
Well, since we're talking about inks and the ink storage tin, Bev said she saw on Instagram where you could take out that liner and you can get 49 alcohol inks in it.
Oh.
So, and we do have an alcohol ink storage tin.
Nice.
That you can use too. And there's a spray ink storage tin and lots of other little handy dandy tins.
Okay, so we're going back to the kit.
Okay, and one more thing before we
Yes.
go back to the kit. Sorry. Bev says you could use your paper towel for mixed media. And for a mixed media project, which you certainly could do a collage or something.
You know what, Kelly? A couple years ago, I was doing fall colors, and I kept my paper towel when I wiped up all the different colors.
Yeah.
And then what I did was I let it dry, and it was completely covered with all pretty fall colors. And then I took matte medium or a collage, and I painted the actual paper towel.
We need to do that in this
and then
fall.
I let it dry, and then I cut fall leaves out of it. It was beautiful. So don't throw away your paper
So
towels.
you can reuse those.
Yes. They were beautiful leaves. So if you want to play around with that, that's kind of fun.
There's also a question about storing your inks on the side, and I'm sure it's fine because of the way the tins are designed. They're designed to stack, and they're designed that your ink pads are on their side.
Well, and Tim said that ink does not move in those felt
Can
pads.
you get the travel glass media mat?
Red, okay.
The way Tim describes it is that ink is infused right into that pad, and so it doesn't go anywhere. So it doesn't matter.
That's
Yeah.
what we like.
Okay, so in
Ooh,
your
here we go.
kit, you will get a piece of pre-cut paper that has been pre-stamped for you. And the paper I use, I always like to use something with a little bit of
It's
background.
not white cardstock, is it?
No, and so I decided to use this 49
Maggie's
in
digging it
Market.
out over here. Is that new from the sherbet
This is
line,
the
or-
49 in Market Botanical,
Oh, the botanical,
the natural history. So it looks like this on the back.
which is beautiful.
But, you know, this is a little bit of the art behind the art. So you're going to get something there. If you look at this, you don't just see white. You kind of draws you in and go, oh, there's some numbers there.
Actually, Maggie, at first I thought you did it on a scratch paper.
Yeah, no.
Something was showing through, I think.
This is perfect for backgrounds. So if you're looking for a good background,
So
that
look at
is.
the backs of your papers. You might have that perfect background on the back of your paper.
Yes.
Thank you, Diane. Here is the glass media mat travel size from Tim. And I think if I back up a little bit, you can get an idea of the size difference.
Okay, I'm going to put it on here. So it's a good 6-7 inches shorter and a good 3 inches maybe thinner.
And is it $39.99 also, Maggie?
It is $39.99.
Okay.
This would be a lot easier to take to crops and things.
Yeah.
But it definitely defines your workspace.
It's supposed to make it so all of this stuff stays off your work area.
Okay, so we've got this pre-stamped, and again I used this stamp set by Spellbinders, Paint Your World Sentiments. I could have used any of these, and that's why when I made those cards, I tried to
Oh, you used some different ones
use
over
different
here. Let me
sentiments.
show these. Here's some different sentiments. The stamp set is $14.99 if you were wanting to do some colorful things.
There's a whole bunch of
And there's Thanks for Coloring My World. Live your life in color. You color me happy.
It's in a box up there.
Somewhere it says you are my color. I think that's on this stamp. Teresa used this yesterday.
I like this one. You bring so much color to my world. And they added a couple little brush strokes, which I like.
That's a good idea.
And look at that little heart. Looks like it's been painted. Okay, so this is in your kit. And again, it is not a watercolor paper. So when you go to ink it, you don't want to let it in there and get it soaked. So we're going to start with our Distress ink, Mustard Seed. Again, I think it's a little brighter. I like the, I don't want it to be oxidized on the back, so I'm using the Distress ink. The thing I learned is do it kind of like diamond shaped so that you end up with kind of a rectangle.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Well, for this project. Because this is a rectangle.
Because that's rectangle.
And I don't want to cover it all. I want to just look like it's just a splash of color.
I see.
So again, whenever I'm writing directions, I never know how many times to mist it. So you just have to mist it to make sure that you've got all of it a little diluted.
And if you're uncomfortable, you could do a practice sheet.
Yes.
Just get a piece of cardstock and try it and see how you like it.
And I'm going to show you a little trick too, what you can do afterwards. So again, the reason I made it like that is I want it to look like this splash color. I don't want it completely filled in. So I'm going to put it at like, let's see, I want it to go from here to here. So I'm going to go like this. Press it on there. Don't swirl it around.
Just
and
press
lift it up.
Pick it up.
Isn't that cool?
Oh, that's perfect.
Yes, I wouldn't even touch that. But I'm going to show you that if you want to add just a little more dimension, I'm going to dry this.
Okay,
Don't dry it on your mat like I've done before.
There was a question about the stamp coming with the kit, and it does not. We were trying to keep the kit a little more affordable, so Maggie stamped everybody's paper for them. So the paper you get in the kit will have
Paint Your
Paint Your
Dreams.
Dreams stamped on it before you go to do your smooshing. If you want to add the stamp set, you sure can. It's called Paint Your World Sentiments. It's $14.99. It's got about 10 stamps on it.
I'm going to show you, to me that's perfect, but I'm going to show you if you want to add just a little more dimension. We're going to make another ink smoosh, but this time we're not going to mist it quite as much. And we're going to just do this.
Oh, so she's just tapping it here and there.
And it's going to give you, see how it's going to give you some more, just a little bit different look. It's going to be a little less diluted. So I kind of like to do that every so often.
Well, it's just fun. It's nice
Yeah.
to know. I wouldn't have known that. And Tammy commented it's very simple but a great effect.
Oh my gosh, and can you imagine if you were to do it in pink? We could take those pink or the sherbet colors and we could come up with inks that you
Yeah.
could do for background.
Yeah, you can change out your background for sure.
I think worn lipstick is a perfect color for the pink. Right here.
Oh, for the
Yeah, so if you wanted to match, so if you wanted your background to be this, there's the pink. Orange, probably wild honey
or wild honey or
would be pretty. Or spiced marmalade. That would be pretty.
yeah, I like that.
And then the yellow, we've got yellow mustard seed. And the green, I think I figured out peeled paint was a good color. I know yesterday somebody asked about matching ink colors. There's your green. And then for that blue, boy, maybe Mermaid Lagoon, do you think?
Very possibly.
There's Broken China, but I
Here,
think
let's look on. Or did you find one? Oh, that's good. Yeah.
Broken China's pretty. Mermaid Lagoon or Peacock Feathers would be cool. Just
I
play
think
around.
Peacock feathers would be really cool. Here's peacock feathers on the label sheet.
Okay, so our next step then, Kelly, is we're going to use our coaster, and we're going to put a little bit of matte medium.
So here's what Maggie's applying it with. The Distress Collage Medium or Matte Medium.
And
Maggie
mine's
said she uses whatever she has.
whatever's
sitting
open.
Closest.
whatever's open, and don't be afraid to put it on there and get to the corners. And don't spend a lot of time brushing it in because you just want to cover the surface. But see how it's not brushed in really smooth? Mm-hmm. And just make sure you get all the way to the edges. So we're going to put that on there. And because we printed something on here, this is a little bigger than what you need, but you want to make sure it's lined up so that it ends up being straight.
Oh,
so
yeah,
I lined up one.
Stamped.
Yeah.
So if you're just joining us, Maggie is showing us how to make her Paint Your Dreams coaster kit. And we have the kits available. They're online. You can find them under our National Scrapbook Week tab, Craft Your Life in Color. You can find it under kits. It includes the die, which is kind of special. It's $23.99. It's got your directions, your papers to do your die cutting. It's got your metallic paper to do those little pieces of the paintbrush. And you got your picture, and Maggie's just putting it together right now just so we could see. And you can make more. If you got the die, you can make as much as you want.
Oh, yeah, that's what I did. I decided to make those cards, and that's what was so fun, was using that paintbrush a lot of different ways. So,
and then she showed us the other paintbrush dies, that one of them's got the tulips instead of butterflies. So that just makes me think, if I had the butterfly one, I could probably have flowers or hearts coming out of here. Maybe even at Christmas, maybe this is weird, but you could have snowflakes.
oh,
You could just
wouldn't that be pretty to make it look like you're painting?
for the 4th of July.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I love that.
That paintbrush is pretty handy. Okay, so once you have that on there, the one thing about a coaster is it does soak that glue up a little bit, so it takes a little bit more than you think.
And I didn't know that, so I will use more now.
And especially those corners. Okay, so then once you have that on there, you're going to dry it quickly, or if you were mass producing these, you could set it aside and let it dry on its own. Kelly, I did use, when I was stamping this, I have to tell them a funny story. When I was stamping this, I was using the Misty because I wanted it to be really dark. And so your stamp has been probably at least triple stamped to make sure it was really dark.
Did you use like archival ink?
Archival, because if I didn't, it would have smeared when I put that ink, or when I put the ink smoosh
Well, Maggie,
over
we
it.
appreciate you stamping all of those for everybody.
But
like I said, it makes it a lot more affordable.
I used the Misty, and because I used the Misty, I was closing and pressing. The next day, I could hardly come to work, Kelly. I almost called in sick because my hand hurt so bad. So that's when I decided it was time to invest in one of these.
Finally.
So
I've had mine a long time. I love it.
that helped, was one of these Stempendables.
The Stempenable, when you put your stamp on your Misty and you close it, or you put your stamp on, your paper, ink it up, you close it, and then you rub this over the top, and it gives you a flat pressure.
It saves
and
your hands.
Yeah.
Okay, so
It gives you a better image, too.
drying, yes, because I did. I at least triple stamped each one because I wanted it nice and dark. But there again, I used archival because I was going to be dipping it in wet ink. So, okay, so once that's dry, we're going to take out our handy dandy,
Oh, here we go. Maggie, the mad filer.
the file, which this has been used over
I
and
washed
over
it.
and over.
Is that the one from Memory Bound?
This one's mine.
Oh, okay. The one at Memory Bound I washed because it said it was washable, and it did wash up, except for the paint didn't come off of it. But
Oh, that was probably me.
otherwise everything else came off. So it is pretty handy.
Okay, so you've seen this done before. We're just going to, I will vacuum this up, Kelly.
Okay.
We're going to sand around it.
So if you sand around the edges, it's going to give you this really smooth look that looks like it's really printed onto the coaster.
What do we call it? Marrying the paper to the coaster. And you definitely want to do this because it just makes a huge difference.
So while you're doing the boring sanding, I'll just show everybody your cards again, Maggie.
Okay.
And then here's some of the stamps and things that she used. And there's the color chart, and we do have color charts that you can get for your distress inks.
The spellbinders one. Paint.
And let's see, what else should we show? Maggie, do you have another corner to sand? If you do, I'll go look at Nouveau Drop.
Sure.
Okay. Maggie's sanding, so I'll show you the Nouveau Drop rack that we have here at Memory Bound, because these are all on sale today, and we have a lot of different colors, as you can see. They're normally $3.49 and they're 25% off, and I think it makes them about $2.62 or something like that. And then I also want to let everybody know that those zipper bags that Janine has right here are back in stock. So if you were trying to order those yesterday and they were gone, they're back in stock. The little ones will be back in stock either tonight or tomorrow. And here are Maggie's paintbrushes that she made to hang up above our display. And look at our counter, everybody. Oops, let me spin slower. Look at our front counter. Doesn't that just look festive with all the paintbrushes hanging up? And Maggie did all of those too. That's why she said her husband couldn't eat at the front counter. Okay, Maggie, how's the sanding going?
We're done. But I wanted to show them how to finish it off.
Okay.
Okay, so I sanded it off, and you're doing it for two reasons. To get that excess paper off so that it does look married to your coaster, and then also to give it a little bit of a distressed look. When you're done getting all the excess paper off, take your sanding tool and kind of do it horizontal like this, right along the edge rather than like this. You're done doing this, so now you're going to do that.
So on the top.
Right on the top, so that you end up with this distressed look along there. Can you see the difference between this side? This side has it a little bit. But that's kind of a finishing. And I always kind of round off my corners. And it just adds that kind of almost a frame.
Looks good.
Okay, so what I did when I made this, I did ink it with pumice stone. So I took pumice stone, distress ink, and I inked around the edges. And you can do that if you want it to look a little more distressed. Today I'm going to do it without inking it and see which one you like
good.
best.
Then we can compare.
Yeah, you can decide. Okay, so pumice stone is a great distress ink to use for if you don't want it to be too wintry and too dark. The thing I like about pumice stone too is it's just kind of a warm gray is what it is. Okay, so that's
It might be that.
the finished.
Well, and Maggie, I would also like to ask people, Donna says she loves your projects and your cards.
Oh, thank you.
So this is kind of our May coaster kit, and I'd like to know, how do you like when you get the die included so that you can make more projects and you have that die versus not having the die? So I would love to know what people think about that, if they think that's really cool, or maybe they need to purchase it first and let us know, but give us some feedback on that. Because it's kind of nice, because then you can just die cut your own stuff and make more.
Okay, so I have done a little bit of pre-work, but I wanted
bit.
I wanted to show you that this die, and this it must be a spellbinder thing. I'm going to just take off this one, but can you see where they've made outlines?
Oh, so you know where to put things
So
away.
you know if you're missing anything. I kind of like that. And here, each butterfly has, everything's outlined. And then what I wanted to show you with this die is it comes with 3 larger butterflies, and it comes with that center piece, so they're actually 2 pieces. And then what you can do then is you can cut a plain butterfly, then you put this in and cut it again, and you will end up with, well, here's an example. So I used this one right here. And so I first cut it out.
So you cut it once out of the pink, and then
And it's just
inside out
solid.
of another color.
Yep, it's just solid. But you have to use both pieces. I made the mistake thinking, oh, I'm going to use that. It doesn't. You have to have the outline.
So, okay, and the light bulb just came on for me.
Yeah.
So
it's a
you're
little,
going to cut it once, just like this,
Mm-hmm.
and then you cut it once with both pieces.
Yes.
Because all this does is cut out the holes.
Yes.
So you need to have the outline, and so she's got one butterfly. Let me get this up close. So
This
she's
is
got
this
one
one.
butterfly with holes, and then the pink is just a solid butterfly.
So I cut it out first with the pink. Then I put this inside. And what's cool about this paper, Kelly, is if I wanted this color butterfly, I could cut this out with just the plain, like that. So that'd be the bottom of my butterfly. And then if you flip it over, you get this fun mottled look.
So yeah, you've got like a pattern.
Yes.
Very cool.
So I cut the top out with the little pieces out of maybe a little bit more mottled. And that kind of, can you see how the pink, it got a little bit more white?
Mm-hmm.
But that just kind of changes up the texture of your butterflies. Now here's one that I cut out. I cut it out of the back side. So you look on the back of your papers. This was cut with the back side. This was cut with
You could just cut a whole bunch of butterflies
Yes.
and have a butterfly party and just...
And so then you've got different sizes. So there's a plain, and there's the other side, and there's the bodies. And so I'm going to show you how I put that paintbrush together. This one I cut out of black. The other one I cut out of wood paper, so you can change it up. And then it comes with, and again, if anybody wants to look this up on Google, this does have a name.
Okay.
This little piece. And
I like the word band.
Yes.
I think that's pretty good.
Okay, and so see what I did is I just took my
You want it to look old.
I wanted it to look old. In fact, I kind of like when it takes off just a little bit of the silver. Can you see that, where it's just a little distressed? Because you're actually exposing that craft side. And you know what, Janine, could you get me a blending tool back in the Distress inks? Thank you.
Susie says this is a great scrap buster project.
Oh, yeah, you could really use a lot of fun scraps too. Okay, today for my glue, I'm using, because I had it, I'm using the two-way glue.
Two-way glue from Zig. Now,
So-
if you've had this glue and it's been sitting around for a long time, you just need to give it a little shake and mix up the ingredients, and you'll get a better stick.
Okay, this does have two little circles that gets punched out. That'll be good, yeah, I could use that. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, got it.
Okay, so because I exposed a little bit of that craft, I'm going to go over it with a little ink. Now I didn't do a lot of it, but it just gives it a little bit like, oh, it's been used, you know?
Yeah.
Just kind of
we
soaks
like it
in.
with used.
Otherwise, this ink is not going to soak into that metallic. You've got to scrape off the metallic part. Okay, so we're just going to add a little bit of this. You can use any glue. This is just, I just happen
That's
to
what
have
Maggie
it.
had. That's what
Yep.
was sitting on her dining room table at the
That's
time.
exactly. Okay, so this little band is going to go here, and it matches up with the little things that stick out. Okay, so there's your
Part of your
paintbrush.
paintbrush.
And then what you do have to do is, this is all one piece. Can you see how this is? So this actually cuts that off like that.
Oh, it does.
And so then you need to then recut that little end with, you know, if you want your metallic. So I'm
So
just,
here she's got it on her brush here. And of course Maggie did the Rachel Ray and already cut it out for us. So you're sanding that one a little bit?
just a little bit, just to, I don't know,
When we got asked to show, here's the Artful Tulip from Spellbinders. And let me flip it over so you can see the dies. So it's got the tulip pieces and the leaves and the paintbrush. The paintbrush is a little bit different. It's got kind of a rounded handle or end piece. I'm sure there's a name for that too.
yes. Okay, so
how did you
then
hook that on
I
there?
just put a little dab of glue and then just overlapped it a little bit. Oops.
It jumped off.
It's a little piece.
So she's gluing that little tip on the top of the brush. Here is the other one, Artful Brush. And that's the one that's got the dripping paint. And it has bristles also. And the dripping paint. And that one's $14.99.
I love that one.
And then here is, we showed you the butterfly one. That's what comes in the kit. And then this one is called Painted Blooms. This is really big. This is really big. I think that's cool, Maggie. I
do
really
too.
think that's neat.
That would make a great little Mother's Day.
When we
Canvas.
ordered those, I had no idea they were different sizes.
Okay, so I cut the bristles out of the Dandelion Color Vibe. And on the back of the Dandelion Color Vibe, they are polka dot. So just to add a little bit of dimension is what I always say.
She always does.
I'm going to put these in the back with the polka dots up.
So you're using 4 different bristles?
I'm using 4.
Okay.
And the thing also about flipping that is then they don't end up being exactly the same.
Oh, so they're not laying, yeah, I
Yeah.
see what you mean. They're not like right on top of each other.
Right, the same one. So we're going to just take some ink there, or glue. Oops, I forgot. And then I'm going to lay these, and I want to squish them together like that. And I just kind of offset them just a little bit so that they don't all match up perfect.
Yeah, because that's how my paintbrushes look. And I think the bristles are actually like sticking out like that too.
And so then I kind of offset it. As you can see, I don't make it quite perfectly on top. And by layering those, so in your kit you're going to get 4. By layering those,
You're going to get a sheet of Dandelion Color Vibe and you cut 4, right?
yes, I'm sorry, yes. So you get a big, nicer, bigger piece of.
We'll let you put that, we'll let you get that put together. You might need
Yeah.
all your fingers.
Okay, and so you just kind of overlap them, so that they fit behind that paintbrush. So there we go. So there's your paintbrush.
Oh,
That
man.
looks like it's been very well loved and
It
very well
does.
used.
You know how you get your favorite paintbrush and that's
Yes.
what you do all your painting with.
And on the inked one, the one that I did for the sample, I did add just a little bit of pumice stone, just to give it a little bit of shadowing. You don't have to. Remember, this one we're going to
We're
do without
uninking
pumice
today.
stone. Yes. Okay, so now you've got your paintbrush. And so what I like to do, in fact, I did it last night and I like it better, so we're going to
Yeah, what'd you
round
do?
that just a little bit.
Oh, okay. So you're kind of bending the handle.
Just to give it a little, again, there's my word, dimension.
Hey, and Maggie, while you bend that, Steve is on his way.
Oh,
Steve's coming to visit
great.
today. So Steve, we'll look forward to seeing you. I haven't seen you for a while. I know you've been here. I guess I just haven't. So we'll look forward to. Lucky Steve is coming to Memory Bound.
Okay, so just to give it a little bit more roundness, this time we're going to do it that way. And we're going to use, you see,
So on this one, Maggie didn't do the rounding. So it's a little more flat, but she did pop it up with some foam, little foam circles.
so we're going to put the foam pop dots right in the middle of your curve. You only need 1, and then we'll put maybe 2, but we won't put them to the edge because we want to keep that little rounded look. I don't know, I discovered that last night, so I liked it. Okay, so we're going to put that about right here, what'd you say?
Yeah.
And press that, and so you get a little bit more rounded look. I like that.
Let me get a little closer to that. It looks like a real paintbrush that way.
Yes, and again, like I said, if you want to ink them and do the pumice stone, you can. I just thought I'd try it without it.
I'm laughing, Maggie. I'm sorry. I'm being rude. Somebody said a mic check, so I fixed my mic and then I dropped the whole thing on the floor.
I heard it. Okay, I'm just going to quick show you one butterfly. I've already cut some out, but I wanted to show you how quick and easy those are. And it is a little confusing in the fact that you have to put both of them together. So, can you see how nice this little sidekick sticks on my glass mat?
Now the sidekick is like a mini Big Shot. So it's perfect. You can't cut the
They have to be small
you can't
things.
cut the thick. You have to do framelets or thinlets. but it's nice for little items because you're not cranking or
Yes,
as
when
big as
I
the switch. It's good for little pieces.
when I know I'm going to be cutting a lot of little pieces, this comes out. Okay, so what we're going to do, and I gave you some bigger pieces so you can make a couple of every color and then decide. But I'm going to lay this on here like that. This is going to be my bottom of my butterfly. Can you see? Pretty well loved, isn't it? We're going to put it in, and this is a lot easier on your arms than rather having to do that.
It just goes quick.
Okay, so there you go. There's your big piece. Now what you need to do, flip it over, and can you see the kind of the look? We're going to see if we can fit that in there.
Maggie?
I think we should be able to. And then I think this one goes on here. So you get 3 different styles of big butterflies and some little ones then too. So
wait, let me show that, Maggie. Sorry. Okay, so there's the 2 dies together.
So when you are cutting, try not to do what I did. Try to cut along the edge so that you can maximize. You're going to get a bigger piece in your kit, but just maximize your space. So if you do need another orange one, you've got.
Maggie, I want you to know while you're cutting that, everybody is really loving how you bent the handle to make it look rounded.
I love that.
That was really a great idea. And Lisa said she saw a demo yesterday where they did it with a lighthouse.
Oh,
so
yeah.
we need to, you can do it with what you just learned from Maggie. You could use with a lot of things.
Okay, so see how we just flipped it over, and now we have a little fun look, and it still matches. And so we're going to take one of the bodies, and in here you get all 3 bodies. So when you go to cut,
so you can cut multiple. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
It'll cut 3 different sizes. The big ones take the bigger size. Well, I can show you how I did it on this one. Now, when I did your kit, I cut 1 single layer with the holes.
But you didn't cut them for people.
No. So you can do it this way. You can do your butterflies like this, or you can do it like this.
I see what you mean. So the picture on your kit, she just cut out the butterflies with the little windows in their wings.
Single layer butterflies. And I think part of the reason I did that, Kelly, was I felt like I wanted a difference between these light, airy ones and these just plain. And I felt like these got just almost a little too heavy looking.
I like what you did.
So that's the reason I chose that.
People have the option to make other butterflies.
So you get all of these. Those are the heart shape. You get 3 different centers. Then here's one without the holes. But it's kind of a little confusing. I have to remind myself, okay, I can't just use this. I can't just use that. That's not going to cut the butterfly. Yeah. So I have to remember that.
Well, and all you have to do is do it once, and then you'll figure out. There's no cut lines on the edge of these little delicate pieces.
I hate to tell you this, Kelly, but I did it more than once.
Did you do it more than once?
I had a little learning curve.
Well, we'll all have that learning curve.
Okay.
That's really nice, Maggie.
So I then took my. Actually, this glue is a little more watery, so it takes a little longer.
So you have to hold it. Get maybe a Nouveau glue.
Use a liquid.
Fine line dispenser with the needle tip.
So you can decide where you want to put your butterflies. Only put the glue under the body, and you decide where you want to put those. I intermixed the little ones with the big ones, and I liked having one come off the edge.
Yeah, that's a good. I like that.
And
too,
so then I liked adding these, but I didn't like the looks of all the little black bodies. It was a little bit much. So what I did with these is I just used Nouveau drops, and today.
How perfect is that? The Nouveau drops are on sale today.
Yeah, today I'm going to show you. I just took a few open Nouveau drops that we had in the back, and the one I used was a yellow bird, and I couldn't find one of those this morning, so I thought, you know what?
Some other good colors.
We're going to be a little flexible, and we're going to try other colors.
Now I'm going to jump over here, Maggie, because on these she just used 1 butterfly. So I just wanted to show everybody the different variations. And on her slimline card, she didn't use a butterfly at all.
You know what? I started to, Kelly, and I put the butterfly on there, and I felt like it overtook the paintbrush, so I took it off.
I like it just the way it is. So she's while she's gluing her butterflies, it looks like she picked out carnation pink to match the project that we're doing today. So carnation pink was one, dandelion yellow, and then for an orange, she's got auburn pearl, and then for a teal, she's picked out aquatic mist. And you might even have Nouveau drops at home, but they are on sale today.
Yeah,
Today only till
anything
midnight.
that goes. I like a yellow for centers of flowers, and
I think you like yellow, Maggie. I'm going to back up.
I do.
I would say Maggie likes yellow from looking at this table.
Okay, so they always say an odd number, but I think that's true until you get to about 5 or 7. After that, I don't think it
Then you
matters.
just put a whole bunch on.
Yeah, so let's try a little sparkle. This one is called Aquatic Mist. So on here,
And if you're not familiar with Nouveau drops, they're a dimensional. It's kind of like puffy paint from when we were young.
I kind
we're
of like
doing
this tone on
t-shirts.
tone. I think that's really pretty.
Yeah, it is. I'm going to get up close.
So I'm going to use a pink.
So you just put a body. You just put one dot in
Just
the
a
middle
dot.
for a.
I'm going to put, this one is called Carnation Pink. So you can just play around with it, but it just takes away from all that black. So I didn't put the bodies on the little ones.
Well, they're almost like a background. I think I see those as kind of a background, and then the ones with the black are kind of your main.
Yeah, and another thing I thought would be kind of fun is if you wanted to do, what do you call those pens?
Oh, the Winkostella.
Winkostella, if you
the
wanted to
glitter
add a
pens.
little bit of shimmer to your butterflies.
Sure, yeah.
Okay, so the last thing, Kelly, is wasn't going to do it, but I did it.
Maggie always does it. And
I kinda
like it.
keep
And
looking at it.
Someday I'm going to perfect it the way she has.
All right, so
Guess what it is? There's something on here. One of these things is not like the other. And I see a splatter box.
Yes.
A Tim Holtz splatter box.
So we're going to add a little splatter. And our splatter brushes, we have a large. If you were doing a big canvas, this is nice. But we also have the little one.
And those are $7.99. And again, they're from Tim Holtz.
Okay, so let's do it. All right. So
I want to see this again. Last time I splattered my computer screen and my keyboard, because of course they did it right there at my desk.
I've got
And
it on my wood
I
floors.
didn't have my splatter box out, but I had a piece of cardstock.
Okay, so any white acrylic, or even if you can still find it, I'm not even sure you can get it, is that picket fence white
Oh, yeah.
distress paint? I don't know if you can get that. But white acrylic, and then what you do is just give it a couple mists to give it just a little dilute it a little bit.
Now, tell us all about how you flick the brushes. That's where
Okay.
I think I'm going into trouble.
All right, so what you might want to do, Kelly, can I use your sweater to cover my black
Sure.
pants?
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so you want to get
Elena says this part scares her.
this
Okay,
coated
let me
like this.
All right.
And
Here's
then
your brushes.
tap it off until we don't want to make a
So you're
blizzard.
just tapping it off, making a mess.
Yep, there we go. So
You
it's a
don't
lot.
want a blizzard?
No, this is not winter project. Okay, so we're going to.
Now these bristles, they're not like regular paint bristles. They're kind of a
they're
thick plastic.
Just plastic. Okay, are you ready?
So okay, wait. No, we're not ready. I can't see. Let me get over
Okay.
here. Okay,
I was just
so-
watching that Julia Child movie, and they were showing how they came up with mirrors to show how she was whisking in her bowl.
Oh, maybe we need to do
We
that.
need to set up, rig
so
it up.
You are starting from
There we
the
go.
top or the bottom?
Actually, when I flick this, it's going to go straight that way.
Okay,
So-
so you are.
I don't want to overdo it. I want it just more almost kind of like a burst.
Okay.
So I don't want to cover the whole thing. I would do that if it were winter, but I just want this burst of light. So I'm just going to mainly focus into that area right there. So I hold it like this, flick it back.
So flick it back towards you, and it shoots forward.
Mm-hmm. And see how I'm just staying right here to give that kind of there. And that's all I want. I didn't want to come down here. I wanted it to look kind of like it was part of
I really want to be able to do that on cards or lots of projects. I think it's super cool. I'm going to try it again, Maggie.
Yes, I love it. And normally I don't do anything unless it's winter, but I have kind of started doing it, and I like it.
It just adds a little
It
touch.
just looks like it's bursting
Getting
with
lots
light.
of hearts. I think everybody loves it. So on the left, Maggie inked the one on the left, and on the one on the right is not inked.
So you can decide which look you want.
Elena wants a class to just splatter. And me too. Me too. So that was the splatter brush. And $7.99 from Tim Holtz. You can type in splatter and it will come right up. And the little box that she used, it folds up flat, and it's also from Tim Holtz, and I think it might be $6.99.
Okay, so it comes out like this.
So you can see it.
Yes, it's not like a cardboard box that you have to keep.
And we do have a white acrylic paint. We'll have to find it.
Okay, so it opens like this, and then it's always a mystery to me.
Do you use this on your dining room table, Maggie?
I
think those fold in, and then that just folds up, and then
does it go like that?
Yeah, and like Paula Cheney, when she was here, she just put a big rubber band around them, and then just stored them, and then that folds.
I still don't think I'm right.
It might not be right, but
There.
everyone will have. And that there you go.
There we go.
She did it.
Splat box.
Live on camera, Maggie got it all folded up.
I think Tim knew what he was doing when it got all
Yes,
done. He had his
label, and his name is right there.
yes,
So
perfect.
if you're looking for that, I think it's $6.99.
Okay, so I
Is that
think
everything on your list, Maggie?
it is. We even got to do a science experiment. And let me know if
Science.
you use a whole bunch of different colors and then do that little thing with the paper towels. It's pretty
So
cool.
you get your paper towels all colorful and messy, and then you painted them with collage medium or
And then
matte
hung them
medium
over the back of something and
of
let
your
it dry.
leather chair to
Yes.
let it dry.
Probably did.
Oh God.
Yeah, and then I punched, and you could punch out butterflies out of this when you got done.
Oh yeah.
It'd
you
be
could.
beautiful. But if you don't want to do that, we have all the beautiful colors of sherbet. And remember that what's nice about it is on the one side, it's kind of a model, lots of different shades. And then back here, you could cut in places where you're going to get a little different look.
Well, I will say we've listed a lot of ideas that you can do with your paintbrush dies, and let's see.
And Kelly, I went on this website,
Spellbinders.
spellbinderpaperarts.com. It's on the back of the die, and there were some really nice ideas on some different ways to use them.
Well, and Jan just had an idea. If you want to make a masculine card, you could put like cars or fishing stuff coming out of the brush. So you could do so many different things.
Yes,
So many
and
different
definitely, this definitely goes well with that.
Yeah, well, brush strokes is a basic, and you can make, I have to say it, Maggie, you can make Mickey Mouse if you use the large
Yes,
circle for
you
the head and the
can.
two small ones, or the small one twice for the ears. So Maggie, I just want to say thank you. This was amazing, and I think everyone's going to love your new kit. There's lots of comments that they like the fact they get the die in the kit.
Oh,
So
nice.
It's a kit that keeps on crafting.
And see how I'm putting these away? It shows me exactly
Oh,
where
she's doing a
everything
good job.
goes.
Picking up her toys.
And then I know whether I am missing one or not.
All right, and it looks like we had one last question about the sherbet papers Maggie used. They come in a collection pack, or we have them all single. We have all the sherbet papers individual, so you can go out and take a look at them.
And there's 3 different sets. So these are called the solids. They have the classic, the foundations, and the solids. And these are the solids, the ones I used.
All right, so that was great. And everybody, happy National Scrapbook Week as we continue on. Today our weekly specials continue, like those Doodlebug bags, and then we also have the Nouveau drops that are 25% off. So if you liked what Maggie did with the Nouveau, and Janet is like our Nouveau queen here, then this is a great time to finish off your Nouveau library or get started on it. They come in every color on the rainbow. So have a wonderful Tuesday. Maggie, thanks again, and we're going to be
You're
back
welcome.
tomorrow. And our week is filled, and we'll get our calendar caught up. I'm not really sure who's here. Oh, Penny's here tomorrow. Penny's here tomorrow with some Copic coloring that you're going to love, because she's going to paint, or she's going to color paint cans. So it's going to be some metallic coloring.
And Kelly, Thursday I'm back with more colorful cards.
Oh, that's right. We
And
get
there's a
Maggie
little surprise
twice
with
this
that one,
week.
isn't there?
Yes, there is.
They don't
There
know
is.
about that.
So Thursday, Maggie is back. I forgot all about that. So have a wonderful crafty day, everyone, and we'll see you tomorrow.